Well, hello there, and welcome to another episode of a Holiday Marketing Bootcamp. I'm your host, Lora Shipman, and today we're diving into a key ingredient for making your Q4 campaigns as effective as possible, knowing which metrics to track to ensure your success. In this episode, we'll break down which data points matter most, how to track them efficiently, and what each one can tell you about your Q4 strategy. If you're ready to take the guesswork out of measuring holiday campaign results and want to close the year with confidence, you, my friend, are in the right place. So grab your favorite holiday drink, settle in episode 331 starts right now. Hey there, welcome to the Lora Shipman Show. We hang out here weekly to talk about things like social media, entrepreneurship, marketing, tools, strategies, tips, and it all starts right now. Hey there, before we get started with this show, I just want to share my passion with you. I love teaching people just like you how to master social media for business, breaking it down into easy to consume and easy to execute steps so that you can see immediate results. So whether you want to start a social media consultancy or grow your brand's presence on social media, I can help. I can help you get started and master all the things that you need to know. So I want you to go over to my website. It is filled with resources, tools, tips, and courses. Visit lorashipman.com. That's LORA Shipman.com to get all the goods. Now, you ready for the show? I know I am. Let's get started. Well, welcome back, my friends. I'm so glad you're here with me today. So let's dive right in. First things first. Let's talk about why tracking metrics in Q4 is crucial, with holiday sales representing a massive percentage of annual revenue for many businesses. You want to make sure every move you make is contributing to your goals. So tracking the right data helps you in 3 different ways. Number 1, you can see what's working and what isn't. And when you understand which campaigns and tactics are actually bringing you sales in, you can double down on those and pivot away from the less effective strategies. Thing number 2, it optimizes things for real-time results, right? Q4, it moves fast. We're in the middle of it right now. And tracking metrics allow you to make on-the-go adjustments that can have immediate impact. And then number 3 is you can plan for future success. The data that you are collecting like right now in real time will be invaluable as you plan for next year's holiday season, allowing you to identify trends and make better decisions based on what you've learned in Q4. So what I like to think about when I'm tracking metrics in Q4, it's not about just knowing your numbers, and yes, that's important, but it's actually what you're doing is you're creating this roadmap for success. So keep that in mind as we're going through this podcast and all the things I'm going to share with you today. Okay, so now that we understand the why behind Q4 metrics, let's dive into the what. Here are the essential metrics to focus on in Q4. The first one, it should be on the top of everyone's mind, is revenue growth. This is the most obvious and crucial metric, right? You want to track not just total revenue, but also revenue growth compared to last quarter or even last year at this time. This will help you see if your marketing and sales efforts are really driving results. Now, if this is your first year in business, you're not going to really be able to do that comparison, right? So it's really important to track that stuff accurately this year and just see how you're doing week after week or day over day and make little adjustments here and there and pay attention to that content that you're putting out there because it's really going to help you pivot when you need to, like we talked about a little bit earlier. Before we go into the next one, I just want to say I love episodes like this because we crack the code on some of these acronyms that we see out there and that we don't truly understand. And I think that's a really important factor to understanding the metrics that you are tracking in Q4. And the reason why I bring that up is because the next thing we're talking about is conversion rate. It may seem obvious to some what conversion rate is, but you may have questions about it. So what your conversion rate is, it tells you the percentage of visitors who take the action that you want them to take. So that could look like making a purchase or signing up for a newsletter. So why is this metric so important? Well, it gives you insight to how effective your campaigns are actually performing and how they're turning interest into sales. And then if you want to improve this number even more, you want to look at what your checkout process is like, or refining your offers and testing different things to see if you can move that needle just a little bit more. Okay, the next thing we're going to talk about is the CAC, or customer acquisition cost. So during Q4, it's common to increase spending to reach more customers, but it's really important to track how much each new customer costs you. So a lower CAC is ideal, as it shows you like your marketing budget is being used efficiently and things like that. So always keep that in mind. How much is it costing you to get a new customer or client every time you get one? The next one we're going to talk about is AOV, which is average order value. And this reveals how much each customer is spending per transaction. So increasing AOV, or average order value, can be as impactful as increasing total customers, right? Because you don't have to work as hard, right? So try bundling products together, offering discounts for larger orders, or adding last minute upsells in to boost AOC. The next one is ROAS, or return on ad spend. So this is applicable for those people who are running holiday ads. Tracking ROAS is a must. This metric shows you how much revenue you're making for every dollar spent on ads. It's a straightforward way to evaluate if your ad budget is being spent wisely. The next one is CLV, or customer lifetime value. So this is typically tracked over a long period of time, but your Q4 offers may drive sales now that lead to repeat purchases later. So analyzing the CLV, even if it's preliminary, can really help you see if you're attracting high quality customers who are likely to buy again. Okay, so now that we know which metrics to focus on, let's talk about the tools that can make tracking so much easier, because that's a lot to focus on. And there are some places that you can go to get a lot of these types of information. Okay, the first one is Google Analytics. It is such a powerful tool for tracking website visits, conversion rates, and customer behavior. So if you set up some goal tracking, you can see which channels or campaigns are really driving the conversions. Another one is Metrical, which we all know is one of my favorite, or other social media tools. And sometimes even depending on what your business is, Meta Business Suite is a great thing for tracking your results on Instagram and Facebook. But so when you use Metrical or other social media metric tools, you'll be able to track things like engagement, impressions, reach, the performance of each post or an ad, and you can see this all in real time. And you can even monitor your CAC for social campaigns to ensure that you're spending your budget in the right way. And the thing about these, when they're in real time, you can make those pivots really quickly, turn on campaigns, turn off campaigns, edit those campaigns, do some A/B testing. It's amazing. It's really helpful. The other place you can get some valuable insight is through your e-commerce platform. So it could be anything you use to make a sale. So it could be platforms like Shopify or WooCommerce, whatever it is that you're using to push sales through. Usually provide detailed analytics, right? Because they want to have value on their platform for you. So dive into your AOV and revenue growth to understand what your customers are buying and how they're navigating your site. And then the last one, which we kind of already talked about, but I didn't mention all of them, we talked about the ad platforms, right? So if you go on Meta or Facebook ads or Google ads and other ad platforms that you might use, they will all provide insights to ROAS and CAC and even more. So really dive in there and take a look and understand what each platform reporting is telling you. And the really cool thing is if you're using a couple of these different platforms, like maybe you use Metrical for scheduling, but you're using Meta for ads or Google ads, you can take a look and see how they compare to each other. And maybe they're not exactly reporting the same numbers, but you'll be able to see trends. So really take some time to take a look at it. Many of them do a really good job in putting together these visual graphs so you can really see where your traffic's coming from, or how long they're spending on your site, or how long it takes them to actually convert, what pages they're entering on. There's so much information there that if you just take the time and just set aside a little bit of time every morning before you start your day to look at how things are performing, you will learn a lot about your business, your customer, and your products and services. Okay, the next thing I really wanted to talk about is setting realistic Q4 goals and benchmarks. A lot of times we dream, right? And we want these really big results, but I think you really need to pull in reality a little bit. So to measure success accurately, I think it's important to set clear, realistic goals based on performance and industry benchmarks. Like, how are you measuring up to the competition? And here's how you can do that. The first thing is, if you have data from last year, start by looking at your Q4 metrics from last year. Know areas where you performed well and areas where you can improve. And this is going to give you a baseline to measure against. Now, if you don't have Q4 numbers from last year, just take a look at last month. I mean, that's enough to tell you how you're trending. I mean, if you're trending down, you got to do something quickly and turn that around. But if you're trending up, try and capture what it is that's making you go on that upswing, right? The next thing you want to do is set SMART goals. And we talk about SMART goals a lot around here. And what you want to do, if you don't know what a SMART goal is, it's an acronym. God, I wish I could talk today. So the S stands for specific, the M is measurable, the A is achievable, the R is relevant, and the T is time bound. So here's an example. Someone may say, I want to increase AOV by 10% by the end of December. Or another thing you could do is achieve a 3x ROAS on all paid ads during Black Friday weekend. Okay, the next thing you want to do is pull out a calendar and create checkpoints. So you don't want to wait to the end of Q4 to see how your progress is going. You want to schedule weekly or bi-weekly check-ins to monitor your metrics. Like, make sure there's enough days that have passed so that you can see some sort of a trend if you're like trending up or trending down, so that you can adjust your strategies as needed. And then the last thing you want to do is evaluate as you go. If you see a campaign that's underperforming, don't be afraid to pivot or turn it off, right? And if you turn it off, maybe you just need to make some minor tweaks and turn it back on again so that you are, getting the results that you want to get. That's why it's really important to always watch what's going on in your ads and actually in all your efforts during Q4. Okay. As always, I always leave you with a little bit of homework because I think it's important. I think it's important to help you execute on the things that you learn in a podcast. And for today's homework, I want you to select just one metric from the list that we went through today that you feel is the most critical to your business in Q4. Then take 5 minutes, jot down a quick action plan on how you'll track it weekly, what tools you're going to use to track it. And all of this tracking and awareness about the performance of your content and what you're doing will help you start tracking with intention and giving you immediate insights into your progress. And then, of course, it'll allow you to make changes, to test, and to pivot when needed. Okay, my friends, well, that wraps up today's episode. By understanding and tracking the right metrics, you'll not only maximize your Q4 success, but also set yourself up for a strong start in 2025. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe. And I'd love it if you would share it with a friend who's gearing up for their holiday marketing as well. Okay, until next time, you know what to do. Stay safe, stay healthy, but most of all, stay social, my friend. Hey there, I just want to say thank you for spending time with me here today. I know your time is super valuable, which is why I am dedicated to providing lots of usable, actionable information in the shortest amount of time possible. Before you go, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss a future episode. And if you have ideas or topics you would like me to cover in an upcoming show, let me know about it in the comment section provided.